Good morning. You didn't know it before you came, but this is amateur hour at Southminster Steinhauer United Church. It's our first Sunday without Chris, and I'm sure we'll all be missing him. We are already. But I'm Ruth Stevenson, and I am your leader, gathering companion for this morning. And my first job is to welcome you all. In the spirit of Southminster Steinhauer, you're all welcome, and you know that you are. You belong here. No matter who you are or where you came from, you are welcome. In lighting the candle, as we do every Sunday, it draws us together. The light of fire has drawn human beings together for a long, long time. And our candle reminds us that we are here together in community. The energy, the life force that is within us and around us joins us all together. Though we are many diverse individuals, we are joined together in community with this energy that is within us and around us. We are in community with all living beings on this planet that we call home. I invite you all to stand and sing our first song.
I sing a song to the
And now is the time for another part of our service to offer gratitude for the land. I firmly believe that the land is sacred. It's a gift to us, to all of us. And our attitude towards the land, we settlers, needs a little bit of adjusting. The first peoples who lived here had an attitude towards the land that it was sacred and it was for all living things. There was abundance in the land for everyone, when everyone shared and everyone took only what they needed. My fondest hope is that we settlers on this planet can start treating it in a more sacred way so that it will be available for us and for future generations. I could go on, but I won't. Let's sing again. It's in every one of us to be wise.
I'll see if we've got a mic going here. Welcome, everyone. Look who's here in the rocking chair this morning. Is the mic okay? Yeah, good. Thank you very much, Wade. We have a wonderful tech team at the back today who are making all this possible. So I'm the mic stand. Just forget I'm here.
Good morning. Hello, I don't know if I know all your names. My name is Bonnie. You can call me Grandma Bonnie, I love that. I have grandchildren, so I love being called Grandma. It's very special. So if you see me walking around here, you can call me Grandma Bonnie. Is that okay? Good, thank you. All right, we're going to have a very special book today. It's called A World of Pause Abilities. Do you know what it means to have a pause? When you pause, what does it mean? What do you think it means? Sorry? Yes, that's exactly right. You sort of stop for a minute. I was... Other possibility. Pause. Just ignore her. Hello. No. I had this wonderful thing I was going to say. Well, you know, Chris is away having a holiday, so he's on a pause, isn't he? He's having a pause away from all of us for a while. So this morning we're going to look at this book that talks about different ways that you can pause Now, I was so excited to get here this morning and do this, I'm almost all out of breath. So can you help me take a pause for a minute so I can get centered and get ready to read? You help me breathe? Here we go. Oh, I'm all ready to go now. We're good. Okay, let's have this story. It's got wonderful pictures in it, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful story by someone called Frank I. Salea. And the illustrations are by Jennifer Zavon. Excuse me, I'm a little froggy today. A pause ability is taking a pause just for you. To stop and notice what you feel, think, and do. A pause is being in the moment and giving yourself a break. There's no wrong way to pause, so it's hard to make a mistake. What's that little bird doing up there? Is he having a pause? I think so. He's probably enjoying the lovely air. Some pauses are silent, while some keep you moving. Pauses should be calming, so things can start improving. Come, let's explore a world of possibilities. Oh, look what they're doing. Does that look like fun? Yeah, it does to me too. I wish I could do that. Take a breath deep from your belly and let it out slow. Relax your muscles until they feel like dough. Have something yummy and healthy to eat. Notice the flavor. Is it salty or sweet? Go outside and take a walk. Listen to silence. Try not to talk. Let the rays of the sun warm your body and face. Take time to slow down. There's no reason to race. But sometimes it's okay to run. Draw, paint, color, or just doodle. Make your body limp like a spaghetti noodle. Wear your favorite and most comfortable clothes. Be in the moment and wiggle your toes. Be good to your body and to your brain. Take the time to listen to the sound of the rain. Turn off all the things that have a screen. Splash your face with warm water and make it clean. I love walking in the rain. Do you like walking in the rain? Yeah. I love puddles. Oh, that's so lovely. Yes. See your reflection and make a huge smile. Smiling makes us feel good, and that lasts a while. Reach your arms to the floor and take a bow. Taking a pause focuses on what's happening now. Stretch, stretch up as far as you can reach. Step barefoot in the grass or the sand at the beach. Oh, don't you like that? Running the sand through your toes? Ooh. Notice the wind when it blows through your hair. Take a pause on your bed or in a soft chair. Remember a funny story or a silly joke. Visit a furry friend and give them a gentle stroke. Find someone you love and ask for a hug. Wrap yourself in a blanket so you feel comfy and snug. Accept what you are feeling as neither right nor wrong. Taking a pause will make your mind and body strong. Taking a pause does not have to be hard. Take a pause in your room, at school, or on the bus, or in your yard. Taking a pause is easy, you see. Making time to pause and practicing is key. Have you learned how to take a pause? If so, Give yourself a round of applause. When dealing with life's difficulties, stop and think about a world of possibilities. Can you come up with other possibilities? Just let them flow. There are endless possibilities. What's in your world of possibilities? So, I hope that you've had a little pause here. And thank you for letting me pause with you. This has been a wonderful pause for me, too. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And when you go out into the rain today, enjoy it. Take some time to let the raindrops fall on your nose. Thank you for coming this morning.
Kids Spirit is taking a little pause too, but we have activity tables around the back area there. Some of you've already started making some gorgeous butterflies. There's coloring, there's books, there's whatever you decide. Just have a really good time, and some of you children have already been working there, so you're going to be helping the other children, right? Yeah, thank you. Okay, we're glad you're here with us today.
Good morning, everyone. I'll share now some wisdom spanning centuries about what it means to be in solitude. We'll hear first from modern poet Mary Oliver. How I go to the woods. Ordinarily, I go to the woods alone, with not a single friend, for they are all smilers and talkers, and therefore unsuitable. I don't really want to be witnessed talking to the catbirds or hugging the old black oak tree. I have my way of praying, as you no doubt have yours. Besides, when I am alone, I can become invisible. I can sit on the top of a dune as motionless as the uprise of weeds, until the foxes run by unconcerned. I can hear the almost unhearable sound of roses singing. If you have ever gone to the woods with me, I must love you very much. And now from ancient Christian scriptures, I share with you the Gospel of Luke. Jesus, full from the Holy Spirit, returned from the Jordan and was led by the Spirit into the wilderness, where for 40 days he was tempted. He ate nothing at all during those days, and when they were over, he was famished. And from the Gospel of Mark, The apostles gathered around Jesus and told him all they had done and taught. And he said to them, "Come away to a deserted place all by yourselves and rest for a while." For many were coming and going, and they had no leisure even to eat. And they went away in a boat to a deserted place by themselves. And in the morning, while it was still very dark, Jesus got up, went out to a deserted place, and there he prayed. From these ancient words, we find wisdom for our living.
Hello. All right. I haven't begun yet. I have two things to say before I begin. Thing number one, what I'm about to say is really Jesus-y. This is going to be way more Jesus than you'll hear in a full year here at SSUC. I just thought you might want a heads up about that. But it's intentional that I'm talking about Jesus, and I'll tell you why. Zoe and I guide people in how to be outdoors alone to find insight. But we're not leading vision quests. That would be cultural appropriation. The Cree rite of passage is actually called Kiskosimuin, and Zoe and I are not Cree. So we can't take from a tradition that is not ours. So to do this work with solitude, we looked into our own traditions, what we are allowed to access, and what we can claim as ours. So Jesus it is. Okay, I still haven't begun yet. Thing number two, I'm going to use they, them pronouns for Jesus in this piece. So this is a classic 2S LGBTQ plus 101 presentation game. In these workshops, facilitators suggest you take a character from literature and retell the story using they, them pronouns. So doing this, you practice hearing singular they, them pronouns and saying singular they, them pronouns. So we'll stretch our brains a bit this morning and get some practice. And as an aside, there's lots of robust theology around concepts of a gay Jesus, a transgender Jesus, non-binary Jesus. So what's that? Okay, I am ready to begin. Jesus, that guy was just constantly heading off alone into nature, into the desert, up the mountain, through the fields, down by the lake. I looked up every time Jesus went away alone in the text, and I'm telling you, it's a lot. And you know what I don't read? I don't see them heading into the house for alone time, or saying they're too busy to take time for themselves, or putting on CBC radio and doing all the dishes and calling it me time, imagining that that will cut it as rejuvenating time alone. Nope, Jesus is getting outside. They want to feel rested, they're looking for answers, they go for a walk outside, or they sit around outside. That's it. So, let's look at this way of being that could be a guide for our way of being. What were they getting out of this practice? One benefit is surely rest. Seems to me Jesus is nearly hiding from the sheer busyness and inundation of their life. Listen to this one. It's my favorite. So, in the morning, while it was still very dark, he got up and went out to a deserted place. And Simon and his companions hunted for him. When they finally found him, they said to him, "Everyone is searching for you." Okay, so first of all, I love that Jesus accidentally, on purpose, didn't tell anyone where they were going, which is not the best backcountry practice. But you got to do what you got to do to take a break. And then I'll go on here with the passage. You can almost hear Jesus sigh through the millennia when they reply. He answered, "Let us go on to the neighboring towns, for that is what I came out to do." What I get from so many of these passages is just so deliciously simple. Rest is allowed. Rest is important. Even when you're busy. Say you're even a miracle worker, you're pretty dang busy. You still have a body and you still get to rest. Take a pause. Rest is good. You're not bad when you rest. And Jesus prescribes it too. He says to his disciples, "Come away," as Zoe read for us, "come away to a deserted place all by yourselves and rest a while." And then this is the relatable part, you'll remember. "For many were coming and going, and they had no leisure even to eat." So again it says, come away to a deserted place all by yourselves and rest a while. So, rest is one idea here, and another is that Jesus is meeting self outside. So it was back when we were 15 or whatever, it was a confirmation class joke to be like, if Jesus is going off to pray and they're like, "God, aren't they just talking to themselves?" But now at this age, I'm thinking, yeah. And that's a great thing. Talking to yourself, coming to like yourself, cultivating a loving relationship with yourself, like any other loving relationship. Time together, loving words, laughs. Getting to know yourself again. What do you think? Separate from others' opinions. What do you want? Separate from others' wants. What do you feel? And if you can go quiet and hear those things, it goes even deeper. A big reason Jesus seems to go off alone into nature in these stories was for discernment, to sort out what was true and then what to do with that. We basically have this whole religion all these years later because of a 40-day backcountry trip. The time in solitude Jesus did before they started teaching. And think about those 40 days in the desert. Jesus had been a builder, a carpenter maybe, for ages. To be around age 30? This is really old back then. This is really old to start your career back in those days. But that's what happens in the story. After this time of discernment, life is totally different. No more getting up out of the house at the crack of dawn to get back to the latest carpentry gig. Now it's the open road. Now it's a new set of pals. Now it's importantly sharing insights and learnings in community. Even at a simplistic level, these 40 days in the desert resulted in a dramatic career change, a hugely important personal step in living authentically. More meaningfully, it was enlightenment, major countercultural insight, and then finding the courage to live that out, to share it, to embody it. So those are 3 thoughts on why Jesus went outside alone, intentionally seeking solitude, to rest, to hear from self, and to discern for action. Plus, I'd add, Jesus must have liked it. They did it all the time, all the time. I suggest gently that perhaps we would like it too, if we tried it. I have one bonus thought for you before I conclude, and that is Jesus was not alone when alone outside. First century Hebrews saw nature through a totally different lens than a Western brain does today. Their world was one rich with life. Life, even for natural forms, most of us here were raised to consider inanimate. Soil that grieves, storms that rebuke, trees that clap their hands. For these folks back then, yes, absolutely, trees clapping their hands was a metaphor. Trees do not have hands. But the metaphor actually stopped there. It did not negate trees feeling joy. Trees felt joy for first century Hebrews. Full stop. Trees felt joy. How rich could nature be if you reclaimed from your own tradition this ensouled world? So, Jesus wasn't alone during these jaunts outside, and they weren't alone afterwards either. In all of these stories through the texts, of course, they always come back to community. I imagine Jesus coming back from time away, so rested, a big smile on their face, and just brimming with insights and stories to share. So, this is something we might be invited to do by those wise authors so many years ago. We could go outside, spend some time with ourselves, and go find a story or two. Maybe we'll be smiling afterwards too.
This is the time in our service where we talk about activities of our community. I know we have a message coming from Linda May. And anyone else who has anything to add, please come forward.
Good morning. I'm Linda May, and I'm here to update you on our Drop Your Gaunt campaign. In case you don't remember, last year we did 772 pairs of underwear, and we thought maybe this wouldn't happen this year because money is tighter, but we found a way. This morning, when I came in, there was enough gaunch in our box that I know we're over 1,100. So I would like to talk about three things that go with that. Thank you to the congregation, both for all of you who are here and all of you who are online, because I know there was lots of donations made. I received lots of money from people and went out and spent it wildly on underwear. I would also like to mention two things that happened. One was that a lot of you told me about sales that were coming up, and one in particular, Tanis Aiken, told me, you know, La Senza is going to put a bunch of their, what they call old, out-of-date colored bras on for $1 a piece. And so they did. And that started on Monday, and I went in, I spent $120. And Tanis went in and bought some more. So altogether, we bought $150 worth of very colorful bras. I might bring them out just to share with you after the service. Secondly, one of our fellow members decided she had a lot of PC points. That's President's Choice points. And so she decided to turn it all into underwear. And 450,000 PC points became underwear. So thank you, Jennifer Guy, because that was, in my mind, a miracle. So altogether, as I said, we're over 1,100. I haven't counted what came in today, but I do know that Jonathan is coming on Tuesday to collect this, and he will be really surprised because they are just starting their campaign this week, towards the end of the week. So we'll be the first to have that donation. Their goal is 10,000, so we will be giving them over 10% of that right off the bat. So it's a great start. I've kind of been telling you things about Bissell, and I'm going to mention today. One of the things that they do for their clients, people who come in, is they offer different types of job training, because they have a day program for workers where companies can come in and hire people who are there. So they give them first aid training. They have people come in and teach them how to use things like forklifts, because many of them are unemployed. That's part of the reason that they're houseless as well. And Bissell makes contact with companies who need day workers, whether it's to help with lawn care somewhere, or snow shoveling, or things like forklift moving. And they give them these things, and people do receive more permanent employment because of this. So this is just another way that we are helping. So thank yourselves, give yourselves a pat on the back, and I really appreciate what you have done for that community. Thank you.
There's a special farewell going to be said right now, and Marg's in charge of that.
Well, it's with mixed emotions that I invite Myrna Sager to the front. And also, Donna Hodgins will join me here from Congregational Care. Myrna is going to be moving from Edmonton here July 12th. She's heading to the Sundre area to be much closer to family, to be much closer to visits with grandkids and great-grands. Come on in, Donna, here. We need to sort of, for our online folk, we need to be all huddled together here. We can see ourselves there now. Well, let me tell you a bit about this wonderful woman. She's been part of things very active here since 1973. Now, you do the math, that's 50 years. And Myrna actually knew the Reverend Mary Thomas in Lloydminster. And then when the Sagers moved back to Edmonton, Myrna was looking in the Duggan Details community newsletter, and she discovered that Mary Thomas wasn't very far away, right here in southern Edmonton. And so that rekindled that friendship. Now, I think with the exception of Don Hamilton, whom you may have known too, of course, but I guess you, okay, as a youngster. So Myrna would have actually known every one of our ministry personnel here in leadership over all these years. Now, I know some of you can claim that same reality, but it is really remarkable. And she's known all of the variety of the congregation over these wonderful years. Now, I want to thank you, Myrna, for just the warm and kind person you are. That's uppermost in our thanks today. Myrna's also been highly involved in outreach, particularly the casserole ministry, but many other things along the way. Helped prepare the table on many a Sunday as we gathered around the table. She also, let's see, oh, you may not know this about her. She actually oversaw all the subscriptions for the Observer and for Broadview over many, many years. So small and large ways, Myrna has been part of the fabric here. Now, she and Harold were great friends with Jan and Dave Nielsen, and the four of them had a very rich friendship until Harold's death in 2013. I think another rich friendship that we were talking about yesterday, you and Charles Bidwell were bridge partners, right? And I think they coached Jan and David into their bridge making, playing skills. So when we think of Charles, we remember with joy that friendship you shared today too. Let's see, what else can I tell people? Well, I think it's time to just wish you well. I think the people of Sundre, and especially those who are going to be in this wonderful seniors housing that you're going to be in, right in Sundre, they are in for a real treat, are they not? And we just wish you so much joy in your new circumstance. It's very hard to leave, and we feel the same. And yet, a new chapter, Myrna, and new people to meet and engage, and new outreach to be part of. So we have a very little, small gift of pottery for you. It's been created by Kathleen Woods from the and as you see it from time to time, very often we hope, please remember us as we will remember you. And thank you for being part of us, and still part of us always, Myrna.
Thank you so much.
And may the move go well.
Thank you.
All right, folks, it's finally happening. Emberwood is going to host the SSUC reunion retreat family camping weekend. We're so excited. We're going to go to Saskatchewan. Yeah, thank you. So we're going to meet with all of our friends at SSUC Saskatoon. We're going to go to Bright Sand Lake Regional Park, which is about a 3-hour drive for both parties. So all of us coming from Edmonton, all the folks coming from Saskatoon. And we're going to have a great weekend. So September 9th to September 11th, we'll have an opportunity to be in community, to go outdoors. Perhaps you'll rest. Perhaps you'll meet yourself or your fellow SSUC pals, and certainly you'll discern. It's going to be a really great weekend. We'll have some guided activities down at the beach. I think SSUC Saskatoon is going to lead us in some canoeing. There'll be some kids-only things, so if you've got young ones in your life and you bring them, Kid Spirit will be there. You'll get some adult-only time to hang out. And we've got 3 options for how we might stay there together. So some of you might tent, some of you might RV, or some of you might stay in some of the bed and breakfasts that are nice and close by if you'd like to be indoors. I think it's going to be fun. We've got lots of plans. We'll do some of the food for you folks. We'll have lots of shared meals. The Sunday gathering on the 11th will be outdoors at Bright Sand. What could be better? We've got the registration forms. There's hard copies like this on the center table, so you could grab one on your way out today. And then you can also register online at emberwood.ca/private, or come and find us and we'll help you get registered. For folks who are able to register before August 6th, it's $195 per adult, and then after that, $225 per adult. Your children, your teenagers, your grandchildren will all come for free. So we can't wait to have you all and to bring your families, bring the people you love to spend a really great weekend with us in September.
Phew. I'd like to remind you too that there are some Kukum calendars available. It's the middle of the year, but the teachings in the calendar are just as important as the days of the month. And the proceeds will go to our good friend Elsie Paul, who's still in hospital at the Royal Alex, but seems to be improving somewhat and making plans for leaving the hospital. Oh, and there is a sign-up sheet for gardening help for the summertime. Summertime's wonderful, but it brings more work. So if you can help out for an hour or 2, please sign up out there. And we're just nearing the end of our service now, and we'll share together a prayer for strengthening our intentions. Please join me in saying these words. Every part of this earth is sacred. Every shining pine needle, every sandy shore, every mist in the dark woods, every clearing and humming insect is holy. The rocky crest, the juices of the meadow, the beasts and all the people, all belong to the same family. Teach your children that the earth is our mother. Whatever befalls the earth, befalls the children of the earth. We are part of the earth, and the earth is part of us. The rivers are our brothers. They quench our thirst. The perfumed flowers are our sisters. The air is precious, for all of us share the same breath. The wind that gave our grandparents breath also receives their last sigh. The wind gave our children the spirit of life. This we know, The earth does not belong to us. We belong to the earth. We go into, am I the only one saying this? There's a little bit more here.
Okay. May I just say that a little bit was left off of that. You will recognize those words as Chief Seattle words, and they are from 1854, the words we have just shared. And now maybe Ruth, you and I could say the part about our particular intentions. We go into this week to dwell with our many relations in a new sense of kinship. This sounds awesome and overwhelming. To be healthy amid the trouble and the beauty, we will find ways to experience solitude this week, especially in nature. We will listen to our own inner voices. We will celebrate that everything is deeply connected. May it be so in so many ways.
Before we close, I'd like to acknowledge those of you who are online today. I'm sorry I forgot to do that earlier, but it's wonderful to have you here. As I've blown out the candle, the light looks different, but we carry its sacred energy with us as we go out into this new week. May we live our love and respect for the earth and all her inhabitants in our many and diverse ways. May it be so.